Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about how the Rahu-Mars-Uranus conjunction is going to affect you personally according to your ascendant rising sign or your moon sign. These are the two most important areas of your chart to recognize what sign is rising, and the rising sign is your ascendant. In Vedic astrology we call it the Lagna, and what it is it's what sign is rising on the eastern horizon at your time of birth. This sets up your whole entire chart. It determines what your first house is. And this is everything for us to understand how this affects of this conjunction of these three powerhouses, how they're going to affect you. Now, I am a Vedic astrologer, and if you want to know about this, according to your chart, you're going to have to look at what your ascendant or rising sign is in the sidereal Vedic system. Now you can go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org, and I have a free chart calculator. You can put in all your information, and if you'll scroll down after it is calculated, at the very bottom it will clearly tell you AS is your ascendant, and MO, which is moon, is your moon sign. Now remember that the moon sign is going to give you how you feel about everything. It's really, really important. You have to look at the moon sign and the ascendant. This will give you the information you need that's going to determine how you're going to get through this aspect. Now, where can you find all this? This is on my website, galacticcenter.org. Go to my free chart calculator, put all your information in there, and you will get your moon sign and your ascendant sign. Go to the bottom and read it down there. Don't try to decipher those charts if you don't know Vedic astrology. Okay, while you're at my website, don't forget to sign up for my free newsletter. You will have all my predictions delivered to your email address every week. Furthermore, I have a brand new magazine. You can subscribe to that, Joni Patry's Astrology Insights. It is an amazing work of art. You will enjoy it, I promise. Only $9.99. As much as 2 cups of coffee or tea. Come on. This is such a value. So subscribe to my magazine, Joni Patry's Astrology Insights. And don't forget, you can join our Shooting Stars. This is a class that everyone comes together and raises consciousness. And it's live. You can talk to me on this unfiltered, uncensored, we get to talk. So that's called the Shooting Stars. You will see all of that on my website, galacticcenter.org. And if you want to study with me, it's not too late. You can join the first semester of the University of Vedic Astrology and become a Vedic astrologer. Join our community. Go to universityofvedicastrology.com. All right, let's get going here. So what if your moon sign or your rising sign are Aries? Well, this is where this conjunction is taking place. This is going to affect you very personally. Happens to be that it sits right on your moon or your ascendant if it's Aries. If you have a moon in Aries or an ascendant in Aries, then this means you are going to be brought to life, energy out the, you know what, you're going to be so energized. But I want to warn you, because it's in the first house, you are very accident prone. And because it's in the first house, it can actually deal with your head. So you could make sure, let me put it this way. If you can, avoid riding any motorcycles during this time. And when is this time? This conjunction happens July 31st, August 1st, around these times. You got to watch it. You're accident prone. You have, and or you could even have problems with headaches because it does rule the head. But the first house is actually known to be the house of accidents. Why? Because it's the 8th house from the 6th. So with this conjunction in your first house, be very cautious, be very aware. You will have high energy. One thing about you though, you'll be very energetic, energized, but you'll be impulsive and impatient, very impatient. Guess what happens when you're impulsive and you're impatient? Accidents. That's what I want to warn you of. But use that energy constructively because you will have lots of power and energy during this time. Use it constructively. Do not use it for arguments or anger or frustration or rage. It will not be a good thing for you. But overall, use that energy for constructive good purposes and it will be a good transit for you. Let's talk about if your moon or your ascendant rising sign sit in Taurus. Then this means that this conjunction, this Uranus, Rahu, Mars is happening in your 12th house. And the 12th house deals with, first of all, foreign lands and countries. I tell people with Taurus rising, this is not the time for you to be visiting foreign lands or countries. Another thing is with it being in the 12th house, the 12th house can deal with secret enemies. So it deals with thieves, robbers, people that talk behind your back in the workplace. Be cautious. Don't put up or be part of any gossiping. Or if you feel like people are talking behind your back, they probably are. Don't add fuel to that fire because if you ignore it, it will go away. If you address it in any way that you feel can be confrontational, it can blow up and get worse. So remember when people backstab you, talk behind your back, it's their issue, it's their problem. And since it does deal with thieves and robbers, those are secret enemies, you're going to have to, make sure you lock your car, use your alarm system in your house, and make sure that people can't steal. The way that people steal today isn't necessarily robbing your home anymore. They rob your bank account, their cyberspace, all those type of things that this could come up and hit you. So make sure you are protected. Okay. If your ascendant or your rising sign sits in Gemini, then this means it's in the Mars, Uranus, Rahu are in your 11th house. What's the 11th house? They're groups, friends, and organizations. So you may find that some of your friends are emotionally out of control. Explosive events happening with people that you know. But at the same time, the 11th house is the house of great gains. And this could be a time that sudden onsets of wealth and an explosion of energy and money and wealth and gains can happen. And Rahu is particularly very influential and powerful people. And in the 11th house, this can bring the people that can bring you up in the world and bring you to their attention. This is what this can be totally about. And if you have any older siblings, they may be explosive. They may even have their own problems and blow ups. So be aware of that. If you feel something's going on, if you can help, by all means do. Okay, so let's say your rising sign, your ascendant, or your moon sign sits in Cancer. This means that this conjunction is happening in your 10th house, 10th from the moon or 10th from your ascendant. What will that bring? That will bring some upliftment to your work and your career, some unexpected, exciting events. Because let me just say, Mars and Rahu love to be in the 10th house. And Uranus could have some sudden changes that you didn't think about that could be very exciting and uplifting, and a sudden promotion, a sudden advancement. But then again, be aware that your boss may be extremely hyper temperamental. Don't try to provoke him or her. Of course, how could I forget? How patriarchal was that? Sorry about that. Yes. Many powerful women in the world, and you could have a female for a boss, but with this, they could be out of control. All right, so let's move on to if your rising or your moon sign is in Leo. And that means that this Mars, Uranus, Rahu sits in your 9th house. The 9th house is the house of higher learning, truth, spirituality, and you are gung-ho about all of this. You want the truth at all costs. You don't care what it is, just give me the truth, and you're gonna get it. That's what this can tell you. And the other aspect is you may be really, really wanting to travel during this time. You're ready to go out, spend time traveling, going places. You could be okay. It depends on other aspects in your chart because you're going to be driven to really go out and explore. Now let me explain something else though. The 9th house deals with our fathers. So if your father's still around, then please make sure that he's protected or he gets the going to the doctor, all the treatments and things regularly, because something could happen that is unexpected, accidents and things like that. So be aware of that. It could be the father, but it's mainly your truth. And if you're dealing in anything with legal problems or legal stuff, this could be an explosive turn of events, okay? A turn of events. Okay, if you have a rising ascendant sign or moon sign in Virgo, then this means this conjunction is happening in your 8th house. And this is sudden, unexpected events that are occurring concerning what? Your money. The 8th house is money. Money through other people. It could be something shocking that happens that could suddenly take your money. Could be a big turnabout where there could be explosive event that it could actually be returned. It's something that is totally shocking and unexpected. Now the 8th house dealing with money, especially money that we may own with other people, such as marriage partners or business partners or investors. It could be some major shift in how the money comes to you. Furthermore, the 8th house is the house that deals with, well, death and endings and problems and disgrace and humiliation. So please, don't do anything that would provoke or cause problems. Lay low. You could avert some problems and troubles. And the other thing that the 8th house could be, because Mars, now with people that have a Virgo rising, siblings are usually a problem. Why? Because Mars rules the 3rd of siblings and the 8th house of problems. And you put all this energy together with Mars, which is the Karaka for brothers and sisters in the 8th. I want you to look out for your siblings. There could be some major problems for one of them. And especially if they're younger, but actually the 3rd house can be about all of our siblings. So watch out for that. If your rising sign or your moon sign sits in Libra, I would really avoid, and being a Libra, usually you do try your best to avoid any arguments or confrontations or fights, either with your spouse, or whoever you're involved with in a partnership, and that can be business or love. This is intense stuff. There could be a blow up, there could be an argument, there could be a fight. So lay low, don't provoke anyone. You can avert this, and this is important, especially for people with Libra planets. Libra does not like confrontation. Okay, if your moon or your rising sign sits in Scorpio, Then this conjunction is occurring in your 6th house, and the 6th house deals with your working situation. So don't provoke any of your coworkers or employees, because they'll quit or blow up at you in an instant. And this is not something you want to provoke or egg on to happen. Another thing is the 6th house is the house that deals with accidents. And this is an accident pending prone aspect. Mars is accidents and Uranus is accidents. Rahu expands it. So if you have Scorpio as your rising sign or moon sign, please don't be getting on any motorcycles during this time. No, but really, seriously, do not do anything that you could have any type of risk at hurting yourself. Please be cautious. And another thing is, this is the house of pets. So if you have ailing pets, be very cautious. Don't leave them for long periods by themselves. That's for sure. Okay. If your rising sign or your moon sign sits in Sagittarius, then this conjunction sits in your 5th house. And if you have children, your children will be on a rampage. They'll be explosive. They'll be angry. They'll be acting up. Find a way to calm them down. Another thing, the 5th house is our creative minds, our intelligence. And I want to say that with Mars being here, you're coming up with all these amazing ideas for something new, creative, inventive. You've got it. Capture those ideas, use them. They're ingenious. Another thing about all of this energy in your 5th house, the 5th house is the mind. Therefore, your mind is extremely agitated during this time. And you don't feel at peace with this going on in your 5th house. And it is not the time for you to make investments. You'll do them totally impulsively, and you may regret it, because that's what the 5th house is, investments as well, and creativity. Okay, if your ascendant, rising sign, or moon sign is Capricorn, you might be moving. There may be something that causes some kind of upheaval in your home and you're going to have to move. There's something that causes things to break in your household. Maybe it's the air conditioner, the heater, wherever you live on this planet. But things could break down, machinery, products, and your car. 4th house, where this is happening, affects your vehicles. So make sure they're serviced and insurance, and please, it could just mean that it's time for you to get up suddenly, unexpectedly, and move out. Move to a new place. But with this kind of energy being there, it can represent upheaval. And the 4th house ruling the mother, your mother may have some problems, accidents, or maybe you could have an argument with your mom. Be aware of this, but be careful of this. It could be her that's having a problem. If your rising sign, which is your ascendant or your moon sign, is Aquarius, then this means that there are all sorts of issues with siblings if you have some, because the 3rd house will rule your brothers and your sisters, but all at the same time. This is a house of creativity as well. And malefic planets love to be in the 3rd house. They make one more creative. They make you more ambitious, more driven, more apt to succeed in things. You are going to jump on the bandwagon with things to get things operating and happening. And creative ideas will be flourishing. It's time to write that book. It's time to put down those ideas that are coming through and to express them in every form of communication that you have. Get out there in the media, publication, advertising. All these things are going to be very energized for you and in your chart. So go for it. This is a wonderful aspect for things, but it's not so wonderful for brothers and sisters. Yes, could be some major arguments or problems with them. So, if your rising sign, which is your ascendant or your moon sign, sits in Pisces, then this conjunction is occurring in your second house. The second house deals with our financial situation, the money we have. And this can mean you could be extremely impulsive with your buying habits. Slow down, back up, make sure you're doing the right thing. Don't do anything or buy anything impulsively. The other aspect of this does rule our speech, our mouth, what comes out of our mouth, what goes into our mouth. So at this time, be cautious of the words you say. You may say things you didn't intend that are very hurting. And at the same time, be careful what you're eating. You're eating too fast, you're eating not the right things. They could cause you to be sick. So this is very, very important to recognize that this could be a problem with these planets here in your second house. And also, this can affect problems in family matters. The second house is most definitely deals with family matters. So there could be arguments, disagreements, problems. Don't add to them. Stand back, be cool, collected, and you can avert all sorts of major issues or problems. So I think I've covered all of the signs starting from Aries all the way around to Pisces, and this should give you an idea how this conjunction is going to affect your life. And the good thing is this will mainly be from the time that Mars is in Aries, which was around the last part of June through August 10th. And this will be reminiscent of this whole period of time, but it's going to get heated up and more intense around July 31st and August 1st. So with that, I'd like to close. If you would like to study with me, don't forget, check out my university. It is stellar. University of Vedic Astrology.com, and go to my website, galacticcenter.org. Check out my new magazine, Joni Patry's Astrology Insights, as well as sign up for our Shooting Stars that is going on every Tuesday at 12 noon Central Standard Time. Central Daylight Time, actually, during the summer. But with that, I'll close. Thank you.